We're officially in. G'day, everybody. Welcome to the Comic Book Guys. You're speaking with Phil and the man, Hayden. Hayden, how are you today?
Pretty good. Like it's early, but doing good. How are you doing, Phil?
Good. Yeah, going good. We've just been updated that we have a special guest here today. We have Ben. Ben is a very close friend of mine. Ben, let me give you an introduction that you do not deserve.
Wow.
I'm joking. Everybody, this is Ben. Sorry. Sorry, I worded that the wrong way. I was meant to say a man that does
needs
not
no introduction.
need. That's the one. So a man that does not need an introduction. Ben.
It's a great way to start off, Phil.
Yeah, so great. So we are live through the Sanctuary socials, isn't that right, Hayden?
Yes, sir. We're on Facebook streaming right now, I believe.
Streaming. So awesome. You know, I can't wait to see the comments from everyone. We already have a comment. Hi, bro. From Orlando Martins from Brazil.
Dang.
Hey,
dude.
You know, thank you for commenting. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
I know. Just getting started. I want to introduce everyone to Ben. Ben is a dear friend of mine, and I know, Hayden, this is the first time you actually meeting Ben, and all I have to say is Ben is actually the closest person to be a Jedi.
Dude.
So I thought... I
haven't force stroke anyone yet.
So, moving on. So for this episode tonight, for the Comic Book Guys, we thought we'll talk a little bit about Star Wars and get all of our opinions on, talk about some of the films and even the people that are watching. We'll use the comment away. But yeah, let's get started. So let's talk. So Hayden, how have you been?
I've been doing good. Just I mean, a little tired this week, not gonna lie. Definitely kind of a mentally kind of weird week. But other than that, doing pretty good. I mean, finished Obi-Wan Kenobi on Wednesday. So like I mean, after that, I was just like, dude, this is pretty dope. So good. But yeah, how are you guys doing this week? How's it? How have things been? I feel like we haven't done this together for like a fat minute, Phil.
Well, last time I had a tooth pulled and it was painful, and I was like,
sissy.
You know. Anyway, enough about me. I've been talking way too much. Ben, welcome to the podcast. How are you going?
Yeah, not bad, guys. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, cool.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. So, Ben and I were chatting for a while before this about Star Wars, actually, and
just a few hours, Phil.
Just a few hours.
We had to take I had to take a break, not from you, Ben, but I had to have dinner. So,
right, because it's nighttime. Yeah. I was like, "Well, you're eating dinner in the morning." I was like, "You weirdo!"
Yeah,
technically, there's a 2-hour time difference for us.
Yeah, time differences. Like, there's still a time difference from Ben and I in Australia, so 2 hours difference. So, very quickly, we have a few comments from. Hayden, do you want to take this from here?
Seraphim Gideon Evan, morning from Canada. Dude, this is really like the Sanctuary International today, man. This is awesome.
It really is.
What up, Kara?
Kara, good morning. And
Kara's
David Loris.
David, dudes.
Good to see you. So I thought let's kick it away. Obi-Wan. And I want to talk about spoilers. So spoiler alert.
Well, how about, hey, Hunt, I have a suggestion. How about because before we go into spoilers, let's do like a spoiler-free kind of talk,
Sorry.
and then we'll move into spoilers. Just
Because
for people
I have
who
a bad feeling our wonderful producer, I don't know if he's watched it, and I just realized that.
Yeah, so and we'll also like if people want to like watch, but they still want to watch it and they haven't seen it yet. Like I don't want them to be like tune out. So what if we do like we'll do like a spoiler-free recap for a little bit and what we liked and didn't like, and then we can be like spoiler Will Robinson, and then
we're gonna need a banner for that.
You know, do onto the other stuff. How's that sound?
I think you hit the nail on the head. David said spoiled food is the only bad stuffs. And Kira said, can't wait to hear yours take on this. And you know what? I honestly cannot wait for all of us to share. All right. Now, I think our wonderful guest on here today, let's kick it away with you, Ben. How did you feel about Obi-Wan? And what was your expectations before watching it? And what were you expecting? And what didn't you expect when you watched it?
We'll start with what I didn't expect. What I didn't expect was for a sort of Lucasfilm and Disney corporate hands-off approach is the words I'll use. As in, it felt like there wasn't the corporate round table dictating, no, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, we've got to appeal to these people, these people, these people. It was just, let's go out and tell a compelling story that doesn't override what is already established. It was sort of we're going to go from point A to point B, but let's have some fun along the way. I was not expecting them to do that. Let's be very clear there. Going into it, what I loved Hayden's redemption arc. Like, anyone who hasn't seen this and you went into it thinking that Hayden Christensen wasn't a good actor, wait till episode 6. Like, it's probably some of the best acting Star Wars has to offer. Just, you'll know it when you see it. I'm not going to argue that. And
absolutely,
bringing Ewan back, you could tell that he was there for the love of it, and so was Hayden. It was just telling a compelling story.
Yeah.
That just for the sake of telling a story. That was my take on it.
Absolutely. Well, very quickly, because we want to engage with our audience. So, James Romero, thank you for commenting. Wrote down, I'm not really into Star Wars or comic books. I'm more into anime, and there are people into anime on here, like Darth Note, Attack on the Titans, things like that. I think anime is pretty cool. Like, I'm still into Dragon Ball Z a little bit. Been catching up with that. I actually have a client through my job that's getting me into anime. So he's showing me a lot more on that. So maybe next time I can chat a lot more about that. But very quickly, do you guys watch anime?
Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah,
I do not.
I'm still stuck in that early 2000s phase where it's like I don't want to acknowledge anything that came afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, David can tell you exactly where I was during the original Star Wars movie, right down to where I sat in the theater. That's incredible. Watching this and installing Windows 11, multitasking, and again, Dragon Ball rules. Thank you, David. That was
David's over here just winning at life, man.
He's just going, kicking goals here. Now, Hayden, same question. What did you think of Obi-Wan? What were you expecting, and what didn't you expect going in, to watch?
I was not expecting Hayden Christensen to even be in it. Like, I wasn't, because I was like, oh, it's just gonna be Darth Vader. Like, I didn't. It's just, I was like, okay. But I agree with you, Ben. Like, man, anyone who thinks he's a bad actor, just watch it. Just wait, especially a specific part in the season finale, and you're like, whoa, dude. But so I didn't expect him to be in it, but I really liked him being in it. overall, what I thought about it, I liked it. I think the first couple episodes I didn't love, but I altogether I really liked the whole thing. Once you have the whole thing, what was the third part of your question? Forgot the third part.
I can't remember.
Okay, it was like, what did you expect? What did you not expect? What did I expect? I would say
Yes, that was the one.
okay. What I expected, I had kind of like cynical, like pessimistic things about it because lately it seems like Disney is kind of just doing whatever they want with some stuff. So I expected it to basically take everything we've loved about these characters and to make big changes that don't make any sense. And so I was pleasantly surprised when I saw that for the most part that didn't happen. So yeah. That's what I'd say.
I think that was well done, and I actually have the same kind of opinion with what Ben had, and I was really pinpointing at a lot of the films previously, Last Jedi mainly. There were. I just knew there was a lot of the whole corporate feel, like invading the films and stuff. But when I actually was getting excited for it, that was the only thing that I was worried about, is the whole corporate, like Kathleen Kennedy getting too involved, and no matter what it's going to be, I'm going to sit down and watch Star Wars. I know when all the new shows came out, the Bad Batch, going from The Mandalorian to Boba Fett, I'm going to watch it. But this, I was like hoping nothing like negative from that kind of corporate feel would be in that. And when I sat down, I actually had to get told to be quiet from my wife because apparently I sounded like a girl. So
I mean, understandably, dude.
This is why you watch it by yourself. So there's no judgment in the room.
And when you have children one day and then you don't have a lot of time, you have to watch everything with your wife.
Duly noted.
So I actually enjoyed it. I think Hayden Christensen was absolutely a showstopper. He really blew me away. The performances in the film, in the show, were just well done. Now, just going back to the comments from the lovely people on the socials. Let me read up. So, Dave Reef, I need to stop now. They are just trying to capitalize on the story. Can you find this so often nowadays, such as extending franchise prequels, redoing movies? And personally, I don't think there's a new creativity for new movies. And, I actually had a conversation with quite a few people about that, the other day, about other films. And, I do agree to an extent, but how I felt about this story was there was actually a story from the original Star Wars films of, like, don't want to give anything away yet, but for an example, maybe Leia. How did Leia know Obi-Wan Kenobi? And I think they really played on that in this film, and I think that was a really good way. I know in the original films, Luke did know about old man Ben, and that, I think they really did play on that as well. So there was a little bit of a leeway where they could play on that. And Facebook
that gave us Rogue One, remember?
Sorry?
That did give us Rogue One. Rogue One was literally just a movie going, hey, there's this unexplored plot hole. Let's go have some fun with it. And look what that gave us.
Well, and what I want to add for specifically Obi-Wan Kenobi is, like, the prequels and the original series feel so different from each other. And so, like, when you finish Revenge of the Sith and then you start A New Hope, it feels almost like two different worlds. And you're like, wait, what? And, like, the way that Darth Vader's acting, you're like, oh. And I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi does an amazing job of, like, morphing the two. And, like, it helps you be like, oh, I can totally see, like, like even how they do lightsaber fights. Like you get to see like there's some hints of like the classic like Revenge of the like Sith type stuff, but then mixed with the newer like static type thing. Like it almost explains like, oh, this is why Darth Vader talks the way he does, and this is why he like it's very much like a good. I think I mostly like I tend to agree with Dave on how a lot of times there's needless ones, but I actually think this one actually served the purpose of the greater overall narrative.
Yes, absolutely. Now quickly going back to the comments, Facebook user, hey, sorry I'm late, but I'm here. Facebook user, thank you for coming.
Facebook user's a legend.
Oh, he is. He saved my life.
Indeed.
David, I love David's comments. Obi-Wan was an old fart in the first movie, but backstory later showed he was epic. Here, I agree, Hayden. Someone finally agrees with you, Hayden.
Yeah.
David again. Disney became mental. Going back to David again. They were the standard quality animation. Dave Reef again. Sorry, they need to stop. Lol. Going back to our good other friend David. Scream like a girl. Not today. The children are sleeping. Kira, yes. David, he's roasting me right now. Wife equals the boss. I have to admit one thing. When you're married, that's just how it is. David again. Use the Force, Luke. Kira, that was my favorite part of the series. I never stopped to actually think about how she would have known Obi. That's really cool. Facebook user. Oh, they saved my life. It's Katie Slatter. Weird. Why it's not
showing. Okay.
Oh, Katie, well, thank you for joining. You're a Facebook user, so
I was so close to making up a whole like narrative, like our own Obi-Wan,
like a backstory
just
for
about
Facebook
Facebook users saving Phil's life. Like I was like, here we go. Like
now going back to David. David Prowse made Darth Vader epic. You know, I agree. Dave Prowse is amazing. Now we just wanted to elaborate a little bit more on the show. Now, I was going to ask Ben, do you have anything else you would like to share about Obi-Wan?
It's worth the wait. There's a slow build.
Yeah.
So I'm just the way I looked at it is like each episode almost mirrored its sort of prequel to sequel. Well, no, sorry. We're not talking about the sequel trilogy. We're not going into that dark place. But the prequel to the original trilogy. So episode 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 all kind of had undertones both in the music and in the theme of the episode. So if you're still on the fence, you'll know what I mean when you say it.
Absolutely. Now, Hayden, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'd agree with Ben. Like, it is a slow burn, and so there's like that temptation to be like, oh, but then once things get going, dude. There's some sick parts of it. You're like, whoa.
You could almost say it's the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, just like start off a bit slow and then let it rip.
Oh yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're all basically agreeing with Ben, but yeah, Ben's the guy that actually built his own lightsabers. Just want the viewers to know.
I can help myself.
You know, Ben is so amazing that he actually builds his own lightsabers and actually looks like Yoda. So you win.
Oh wow! I don't know how to.
Do you have anything to say, Ben?
Feels spicy today.
Oh,
you gotta go camera.
There we go.
Oh wow!
I got bored at work.
You got bored. And did you get paid per hour doing that?
I will neither confirm nor deny in case my boss is
watching. That is absolutely awesome. Wow. I'm impressed. Now, sorry to stop right here. But we want to go back to our lovely viewers. Going back to David. Star Wars Mall video games were epic in the 70s. Dude, that's awesome. David again was, not freaking is. Yeah, I was a bit worried there.
That was a bit worrying.
Dragon Pockets, a few emojis. Thank you for the emojis. We love emojis. David again, James Earl Jones made Darth's voice live.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. David C. Again, Avatar is another example of the original story.
See, okay, I need to make a comment. I need to make a comment about
Yeah,
Avatar.
yeah. Take it away.
So the other day, like I was getting over a cold, okay, and I was like, man, like I'm all stuffed up. You know, like when you got a cold, you need to be and you're sick. You're like, I just need like some sleep. I need some rest. You know. So I was like, I go down to the medicine cabinet and I'm like, dude, I can't. Oh, we're all out of NyQuil. We're all out of the medicine. I can help you fall asleep. And I was like, dang. I was like, oh, wait a second. Avatar's on Disney. That's how I feel about it. I think I don't understand why people love Avatar. Like I've tried to watch it so many times and I never make it through it. Like I just fall asleep every time. Like
I can't stand it either.
Yeah, I just can't do it, dude. Like everyone's like when it came out, I was
fucking annoyed right now.
No, I'm not annoyed. It's a visual and technical masterpiece for its time, but the story is like
awful.
Yeah, it's meh. But visually and technically, you got to appreciate it.
It looks great. Like everything that James Cameron does. Like Alita is also great. But it's just but like Avatar, it looks amazing. Man, I'm out. Lights are out by like 10 minutes in. I'm like, let me see you guys.
Wow. Now, just going back to your comments, Kira, I agree, Hayden. Someone agrees with you again, Hayden.
Yeah,
wow.
Dude.
Well, you can finally retire.
Kira's got my back. Kira's like, yo, dude.
Remember Facebook user? They've returned.
Yeah.
Yeah, they saved my life. What was the story again, Hayden? How did they do that?
Do what?
And how Facebook users saved my life.
Well, it's a funny story actually.
Yeah.
You slipped on a banana peel and they caught you. That's pretty epic. But okay. So I did have a question about Obi-Wan that I wanted to ask you guys.
Yes.
Because this was a very controversial thing that I saw happening, and so I wanted to ask you guys. So, if I mispronounce the character's name, that's my bad. I think it's Reva. Is like the Reva or Reva, the main Inquisitor lady who's like kind of like the main antagonist type thing. So I know that for her there was a lot of like backlash that people had against her. I know, and then people went after the actual actress, which I never think is okay. Like because it's like, one, she didn't write the character. Two, what a lot of people don't understand is like even when it comes to acting, a lot of the way that so I think like no matter how you feel about it, before we get into this, like none of it should be going back to the actual actress, right?
Yeah.
But I do want to ask what you guys thought of the actual character of Reva, and what you guys like. Did you like her? Did you not like her? Why or why not? Do you think they could have done something different for a villain? Let's start with Ben because you're our guest, so you have the honor.
Okay, I want to touch on what you said about the actor and the director.
Yeah.
This is Hayden Christensen prequels all over again.
Yes.
Everyone, all the critics panning his acting. The dude was told how to act by George. Straight away, same parallels being drawn there. As a character, I think Reva was interesting. She was conflicted, but there was actual not story Disney just writing, this is the bad person, there's no motivation other than they're bad. Like, as the series progressed and they got into it, you actually learned more and more about her character. And I don't want to say like the fully tragic dime a dozen sort of villain origin stories, but there was a beginning, a middle, and an end to her story. Well, at least in my opinion. So to me, I thought the character was sort of well thought out in like a non-law breaking way, but at the same time, there could have been a few small tweaks here and there. I think avoiding the whole sort of controversy, inverted commas, in sort of episode 2 with another character, which, for the sake of not spoiling anything, occurred and set the internet on fire for a few hours and all that. So there's a few things I would have changed, but overall, I actually thought the character was well thought out. There was a definitive beginning, middle, and end, which in Disney era Star Wars, that's a very rare commodity.
Yeah. No, dude, I think that was really well said. You know, so for me, I actually enjoyed her. Took me a little bit to get the hold of her in the show. But after, you know, when we found out her backstory, I think that's where I just really, I was digging it. I think she did great. I know that, you know, some people may agree with this, but near the end, her character became a bit slow to, you know, she had this awesome build up and then just gradually went down again. But I think that was the whole point of her backstory. And I think when you watch the show, it will make sense. I guess that's where a lot of the people from watching the prequels, you know, when they really related with the younglings that were taken out by Anakin, this sort of, you know, goes back and redeems for those young children that were gone. If that makes sense for you all, but I highly just recommend watching it.
And I agree with Katie, who put up, as for Reva, I was not a fan of her until the last 2 episodes. I completely agree. That's how I feel about it. I thought I could not stand her for the first 4 episodes because I thought they made, because okay, so like I understand that like Sith are very much like you're not supposed to like the bad guy, right? Like you're never supposed to like the bad guy, and Sith are like they're pure hatred and stuff. Problem is, it's like everything that we've seen from Siths are dark, calculating, almost like stoic, and just like terrifying, right? And even if you played Jedi Fallen Order, the second sister, the way that she acts, you're like, okay, like they still have that like angst, but they're very much still just like a dark presence. Whereas I felt like Reva felt more like a teenager who was just like throwing fits all the time is kind of what she felt like. And it didn't add to like it for me, it didn't give that cool like menacing feel. It was almost more like, oh, like nobody can stand her like on her own team. I can't stand her right now. And then when you get to episode 4, I believe, and you find out her backstory, and there's a scene where Obi-Wan is talking to her, everything changes, and she finally like starts acting in a much deeper way. And then I'm like, okay, see, I like Reva now. Like I think like when she finally like breaks like the wall and actually starts like talking to him now, knowing like, and she starts showing more like control and stuff. I was like, okay, see, I'm all for that. I wish she would have been like that from episode 1, because that's a great version of the character. It's just when you're watching her like scream and like constantly like just do like irrational stupid stuff, and then just like that constant stop, like stuff like it's just like it takes away from being like the Sith, you know what I mean? That's how I felt about it.
Absolutely.
Boom. Oh, see, dude, I hope you're keeping track of all these agreements, Phil.
3 times in a row.
Yeah, dude. Well, do you guys want to move to spoilers then?
Well, I think, to be fair, we have Dragon Pockets through Twitch just said thank you for no spoilers. Appreciate it. He has not finished watching it yet. I know that we sort of agreed that we would talk about it, but I think because
I've got a great filler for you, Phil.
Ooh.
If I was to pitch you how people are saying there's no originality and all that in Hollywood anymore, which it's true.
Okay.
But just pure enjoyment. If I pitch to you a similar to the original Battlestar Galactica first 3 episode miniseries, if I said to you, I want to pitch you a 3-episode miniseries, but I want to do it as Operation Nightfall, Order 66. Would you be interested?
Give me the money and I will. Yeah, I would.
What about you, Hayden?
I like an Order 66 miniseries.
Yeah, pretty much like
mean,
tracking it.
I think that'd be dope because I do think that you could have very original stuff because you can tell a whole different type of story through that, like a Survivor-esque. Dude, Order 66 would be dope. You could almost make like, I don't know if they would, but you could almost do like a rated R.
That's what I was saying to Phil earlier today. Like,
yeah,
imagine that.
Just dark.
Hey, going back to David. David, thank you for the comment. I think for writing this. Now, I just really wanted to get Ben's opinion on this. What did you think about a young woman representing the Jedi and taking out the Sith?
A young woman
yeah,
representing.
I think he's talking about Rey.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay, so we're going to go down that rabbit hole of the sequel.
I think you're the perfect person.
Okay. First things first, as I was saying to Phil in an earlier conversation today, Palpatine should never have been the bad guy in the sequel trilogy.
Yep.
I personally think Disney should have eaten some humble pie and had the sequel trilogy of Grand Admiral Thrawn as the big bad. Bring Benedict Cumberbatch in, paint him blue, make him Grand Admiral Thrawn. He would have been perfect. However, having a Mary Sue character, just magically, no time jump or anything, take out the ultimate big bad of the last 6 movies. Yeah. No.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. How do you feel, Hayden?
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with like Rey herself. It was just more like you said, it's like she didn't have any struggle to overcome. She's never really been trained like until Luke trains her for like barely any time at all, and all of a sudden,
wait.
Yeah, and I understand. Okay, like I understand the whole argument. Okay, like if you take Anakin, it's like there are some people who are born with a bigger amount of the Force. Guess what? Anakin had to be trained his whole life.
Yeah.
And he still got the crap beat out of him multiple times. He got his arm chopped off by Count Dooku. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I get passionate about this, but it's like Rey herself. I thought the buildup was great, and then the more movies went on, I was like, this is just. No.
Dude, I sorry to cut you off there. That was really cool, Aiden. I think we should do a little bit of a Q&A. I think that's really cool. So we have quite a few people on. So we just want to read a few comments from here. So Ben, do you scroll through the comments, and if you see any comments, answer some questions, Ben. We can take in turn. So Ben, myself, and Hayden.
Give us your questions. Give us your questions.
Let's see. I can see there's a fellow Battlestar fan here watching the OG in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, please tell me you two have both seen it.
Battlestar Galactica?
Yes, the original and the reimagined.
Only the reimagined, not the original.
Missing out on some quality.
I know. Now my turn. So now, Pastor Bob joined.
Pastor Bob,
feel free to post your questions. PB in the house, yeah. So now got. So Dragon Pockets, do you mean the chat? No, feel free to post any questions in here, and we'll answer any questions. So, Dragon Pockets, the final trilogy wasn't consistent with a lot of the previous movies. Real shame. And I think Ben really summed that up so many times over the phone with me before. It was just and utter disgrace. If I could choose slipping on a banana peel or watching them, I will pick the banana peel every time. Now, Hayden, your turn.
All right,
You know,
Katie's asking, what is our
please,
favorite
people,
Star Wars
ask the
movie?
questions.
So my favorite Star Wars movie would probably be Empire Strikes Back, all the way.
Yep.
Ain't no stopping it.
Absolutely. Oh, that's
Well,
awesome.
What about you guys?
You go, Ben.
If I can pick a scene from a movie, it's obviously the Mustafar duel. But yeah, Empire all the way. I still remember playing like the N64 Battle of Hoth sort of Star Wars game.
Oh yeah.
And just that was childhood memories right there.
Absolutely. I think mine would be the same. Now, going back to here, I am just going to find another comment. What is the fastest land animal? You know, David, thank you for your wonderful comments. But you know what? I'm always going to pick the turtle because of the song Fast and Slow. The turtle is patient. And, you know, a lot of these fast animals will burn their energy out. And eventually the turtle will just slowly just get in. That I hope that answers your question, and my analogy will change your life.
Man, who let us be on here, man?
No, Hayden. Yeah, you go.
Okay. Okay. So, favorite Star Wars game and why? So, I haven't played Knights of the Old Republic, so I apologize. That's my bad. I will be flogged. But outside of that, I would say, let's see, I mean, obviously, it's got to be Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's the best Star Wars game ever made.
Clarification for those who are
original,
younger in the audience.
Not the EA.
The original.
No. I remember I got sick one day and had to stay home from school, but like, you know, my parents had to go to work, so I'm just sitting there. So I had a PSP with Star Wars Battlefront 2, like the original. I remember I sat watching the Bernie Mac show for probably like 12 hours playing Star Wars Battlefront, and it was the best day of my life.
Hey, can I just mention, Hayden? Someone finally disagreed with you. The same person. Shame, Hayden. Shame.
You know, I thought we were cool. Cool.
You know what? They will probably be thinking, I wish Hayden slipped on the banana peel by now.
Probably. Now I have to journal about this, guys.
Yeah. Battlefront 2 is a great one for sure. Oh, absolutely.
There's actually a mod. I don't know if any of the guys in the audience know, but there's someone out there who's gone through and remastered the whole game.
Are you
if you
serious?
can manage to find it, assuming Disney's copyright lawyers haven't gone off at them, it is so worth it. Like, so good.
I have to find that.
Yeah, good luck. Disney's lawyers. I remember it being on one of those. Can't remember which page. It might have been like one of the now kids. This is naughty, but the file sharing sites back in the day. But
how cool?
Yeah, it was. So good.
I have to search that on YouTube or something.
That and the Star Wars Battlefront 3 we never got.
Are you? Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. We're being. Hang on. I'll ask the question after this one. This one just popped up. So
yeah.
But so Katie's asking our favorite Star Wars extended universe, and then after this, there's a question by Kara I want to get to. But so favorite Star Wars extended universe character, is that what that said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know enough about the extended universe. I'm actually just started reading an extended universe book last night called Red Harvest, which is like Star Wars meets zombies. So I was like, oh, sick. But I would say, I mean, Revan seems pretty cool, even though I haven't played the game. I mean, he looks really cool, so I'm gonna go with him.
Revan, absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Phil?
I'll pass it on to Ben here because.
Look, Legends, Revan, but if it's a character who's come into canon, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Gotcha. I don't know anything about Thrawn. I need to figure that one out. But okay, so Kara asks to switch gears because I know Phil is passionate about this. What's your favorite Batman movie of all time? And like, yeah. So you take it, Phil.
I can tell you what my least favorite Batman movie, starting from that, is The Batman.
Yes.
My least favorite.
Yes.
And I'll say that again. I did not like The Batman. Not putting down Robert Pattinson.
Amen.
Who I actually grew up watching and who is Batman, as much as I love Ben Affleck, but Michael Keaton's Batman with Jack Nicholson was always going to be my favorite because that's what I grew up with. When I was little, I always thought Michael Keaton was Batman. I believe that he was Batman. I thought that movie was true, so I always have to go back to that film. But I'll say it again: the Batman was no good. So if you loved that, please get your eyes checked or and I wish you the very best with your journey within the life. Now I got a comment with David's the 60s Batman. I actually had an autograph signed by Adam West, but I actually gave that away to a Adam West fan in a Facebook group. I'm in a part of a 1960s Batman group. So I love Adam West. Absolutely. Just he made Batman. I grew up watching a lot of the series because I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of the new Batman films because my mum thought they were violent. So I had to put up with this for a while. But I absolutely loved anything to do with Batman till this day. Anything Batman. Anyway, enough about me. I can talk about Batman all day. Ben, what would be your favorite Batman film?
Well, speaking about the Batman.
No,
I'm not going to say anything like that, Phil. But to quote the villain from my most hated Batman film, maybe it needs to be put on ice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to use a 90 reference there.
Yeah. Can I ask you something, Ben?
Yeah.
You know why George Clooney had hard nipples?
Oh, I don't even know what was going through the director's mind, so please inform me.
The freeze was coming. It was cold, man. That film was cold, man.
Oh, very cold. But obviously, Batman and Robin was just terrible.
Did you hear what Tim Burton said recently? Someone asked him, "What did you think about the Batman movies after your one, after Batman Returns?" He said, Warner Brothers thought I was too serious and too dark, and the next minute you put nipples on the bat suit, go get stuffed.
Yes, well, I'm going to probably sound like a lot of mainstream people here, but the homeboy advantage of having Heath Ledger grow up in Perth, Dark Knight, just...
It's kind of the gold standard,
It really is.
Okay, let me ask you, who's your favorite Joker?
Is that including video games?
We're unfortunately discounting Mr. Mark Hamill's Joker.
Yeah, I know. I would have to put it to Heath Ledger, definitely for sure. But I will always have a special care in my heart for Jack Nicholson. But I know Hayden loves what do you call it, Jared Leto.
You turd. No,
Well, in fairness, though, one of our mutual friends of Phil and I does like the Jared Leto take, and he will viciously defend it.
Well, we don't have to talk about that guy. But no, I that's a tough one. I would say Heath Ledger, even though the problem, I don't have a favorite Joker because each one of them has aspects that I like, but they don't have all the aspects I like. So you know what I mean? But I would say out of all of them, I would say Heath Ledger. But we got a question from the one and only Pastor Bob.
Wait. I want to. Can I just quickly fill something in? Pastor Bob, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Hayden and I actually had a debate a while ago saying, who do you love more, me or Hayden? If you could comment a way to end this silly debate, which I know that you love me more, not Hayden. If you could just give an answer about that, that would be perfect. Hayden, can you take it away if you choose any actor to play the next Batman?
Yeah, no problem. And I mean, Pastor Bob, I always feel like, you know, you can tell him, but you can just message me anyway and just tell me the truth. No,
Make it public.
my favorite actor to be like the next Batman, like if I could choose any actor, that's a good question. Man, I haven't really thought about it. Okay, like I would say, man, that's a tough one because there's so many actors to choose from. I would want some kind of actor to like. I would want my actor to look like the Batman from Arkham. I would want some kind of character who could like some kind of actor who could encapsulate the Batman we saw in the Arkham games. I would so, but who that would be? Obviously, Sylvester Stallone. Oh, wow.
It's a difficult decision. You are both kind of ugly, and I pray for you equally.
That's fair. That's fair.
But now I want to ask you just possible, who's more ugly?
I mean, I'll take that one. I'm not even gonna try to compete with that one, my man. But
thank you, Pastor Bob. I'll take the next one. I think actor for me was definitely John Hamm. The reason why is that I think his jawline matches the Arkham games. I love the Arkham games. I know David mentioned Arkham Asylum is a fantastic game. Thank you for mentioning that, David. I think all the Arkham games, including a lot of people might hate me for this, but Arkham Origins, that didn't really have a good reception from fans, but I actually enjoyed the story. But I think that John Hamm would have brought something different to the table. What about you, Ben?
It's hard because I personally would like to see like an old Batman. I wouldn't want like a young sort of in his prime Batman. I want to see Batman who's been doing this. He's in his like early 50s, like just the toll it's taken on him. So I'm trying to think of an actor who could sort of portray the beaten and the sort of scarred Batman. And
so you want a Dark Knight Returns, like an actual Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah.
I don't want a Dark Knight Returns. I don't think Christian Bale should come back to it. What I want to see is like a different universe Batman, like a Batman who's sort of none of the fancy stuff or any of that, but a Batman who's just, it's taken him years and years and years. But if I could say something, I'd want to see like take Ben Affleck, chuck an extra 10 years on him, and then give him the writing team of Christopher Nolan and co. And just go, okay, let's see what we can have here. But then let's also bring in like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and just have it as like not just like huge explosions, big stuff. I want to see like a down and gritty Batman who's sort of like just been hardened. So
the Dark Knight Returns.
But not the Dark Knight Returns, if that makes sense.
It's funny, you're literally describing the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, but I don't want the Dark Knight Returns.
Then what would you call it?
Going on the originality of Hollywood, it's not the Dark Knight Returns, we promise.
Well, what about the Dark Knight again?
The Dark Knight comes back. the Dark Knight circles around. Like, how about that?
Michael, we got a comment from Michael. Have you seen the Bat in the Sun films on YouTube? Isn't that the fan-made films? That was.
I think so.
Yeah, I actually watched that. That was actually quite good. it didn't go long enough. When I watched it all. I'm like, is that it? Like, I actually enjoyed that. I wish it went a lot longer than it did. It was well done. If you haven't seen it, definitely YouTube it. It's worth the watch.
I will have to.
Now, Facebook user. It sounds like I think Flashpoint Bruce Wayne dad is Batman.
Yeah, honestly, I could see John Hamm being that Batman, Thomas Wayne being the Flashpoint Batman. I could totally see. Which, speaking of Flashpoint, I feel like because we're just talking about Batman stuff. Did you guys hear that once Flashpoint comes out, they're completely done with the Flash in DC?
With the actor.
Yeah, well, but with also the character arc too, because they're just like, well, so like they might like reboot him, but then they just have to get a new Flash though. So like, but yeah, the actor is just such a troublemaker that they're like,
yeah. I actually heard everything that he's done. It's a bit silly. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, what if you could just bring Grant Aston, from the film? I don't know if that would work, but I think that's still cool. I'm still pretty big fan of him. Sorry, we got another comment from Christopher Kenny. Return of the Dark Knight again.
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
That reminds me. You guys ever see the old it's the takeoff of the war one. I think it's Tropic Thunder, and it's just the Ben Affleck like intro thing. How it's just like the man who saves the world again has to do it again, but this time it's cold. That's what it would be.
Yep.
The man who saved Gotham saves it again, but this time it's Twilight.
Yep.
But this time there's a guy in question mark leotards.
Exactly.
I want to ask some of the people, our lovely viewers, what did you all think of the Batman? I want to have people's opinion. Something I wanted to share very quickly with you guys, Ben and Hayden. What did you think of the new Joker? The look of him.
Are we talking Joaquin's Joker, or are we talking
No,
the Batman?
it was the new Joker in the Batman. The one that looks like he's been living underneath poison oak and it's been sucking a lot of sour lollies.
I think it's like people who try and reinvent the wheel for the sake of saying they've done something different.
Yeah. Yep. I honestly am not excited for it. I actually cannot stand the new Batman film. I kind of feel that put it this way, when I watched the movie, I was sitting down and I was like, and halfway through I just kept checking my watch and checked my phone a few times until I had one guy behind me and said, can you please stop checking the time? I'll have to watch it too. And when I finished, I'm like, I just didn't seem excited. I feel the writers who wrote the Batman did not like Batman at all. That's just my honest opinion. I thought it was going to be really good from looking at the trailer, but it was just something about it. It just didn't seem Batman.
That's how I felt. I didn't feel well, and Batman didn't do anything. Like he didn't do any heroic Batman stuff. He completely failed at everything. The world's greatest detective couldn't figure out what a carpet tool was. Like, I mean, it's like all this stuff. You're just like, man, like it's just like, you know what, Katie, get out of here.
You may agree with Hayden, but we don't agree with you. No, I'm joking. I liked the Batman. I liked the fact that he was actually a detective, brains instead of being all brawn. It wasn't perfect, but it was too long. But I liked it a lot more than Batman v Superman. Look,
see, yeah. Well,
you take it, Hayden. Hayden, you take it.
I'm just gonna add one thing. Okay, just gonna add one thing. Katie, I would agree with you, but then we would both be wrong.
David, Bat Twilight, Michael. I was actually okay with the Batman, but I like Daredevil when we got it. Anyone
dude.
want to share?
I liked some parts of Daredevil. The only thing about Daredevil, the show, is it was a little too dark for me. It's a little too dark and gritty in some parts where I was like, ooh, like, but yeah.
Yeah. Going back. Oh, we got a comment from Christopher. Hey Ben, do you want to take this one?
Okay, so didn't feel like it had that of a superhero. See, I kind of like that take. I will agree. Like as a film, it was a bit meh. It didn't feel like it had a strong creative direction. But it feels like out of a writer's room of 6 people, there was one person in there like constantly putting their hand up saying, "But we're still trying to write a Batman movie here. Can we please at least like make it Batman?" And like the scraps that we got were what the rest of the writing team let them get away with.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was a good sort of like, hey, he's getting started sort of bit. But yeah.
So we got a message from Dragon Pockets. We didn't see the Joker in the Batman, did we? The Batman was good for me. Very different to the normal cartoon ones, but very enjoyable. He doesn't have superpowers, just like Iron Man. Well, look, to Dragon Powers, if in the film, it's out everywhere now. A lot of people's watched it. In the last scene where Riddler was getting upset in prison because he found out Batman was able to save the day somehow in a strange way. You actually hear Joker talk to the Riddler, and also they released a 5-minute footage of Batman going to Arkham Asylum talking to the new Joker. So go on YouTube, check that out. Michael.
Well,
So just answering a few more questions. Michael, brought you to silence. I meant the Affleck Daredevil.
That was actually my first thought, but I didn't want to like give away my age and like the fact that I voluntarily went and saw that movie back in the day. But that one hasn't aged well.
Yeah, no, Michael, I was just being silly, but yeah, no, dude. There were some parts of the movie that I did enjoy. That was actually pretty cool. Kira, it's a movie that I don't really care to ever see again.
Agreed.
You are in my top books of people that I respect. So let me just write that down. Thoughts of Doctor Strange 2?
Haven't seen it yet.
You haven't?
I have not. It just came on Disney yesterday, so I'm gonna try to watch it with
definitely really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a little bit all over the place at some points, but otherwise, it was a solid sequel for Doctor Strange.
Okay.
It had a lot to offer with a few scenes in it. I don't want to give it away as Hayden hasn't seen it, so we're going to be respectful. Dragon Pockets. Oh, judgy much. Now that is going in my other book.
You're in my list.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna break your back, brother.
So, guys, we have reached almost 1 hour. We might just take a few more minutes to answer a few more questions. Hayden or Ben, you guys take the floor.
Sweet.
Scroll through the comments. Let's ask a few more comments before we wrap up.
All right, yeah, I'm looking through. We have a lot more comments than questions. I do want
a really good question.
I do want to add one thing to go back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want to I want to tie in the Batman and Obi-Wan Kenobi and what happens when you don't like the character, or what happens when you do love the character that you're writing. So the Batman, there weren't a whole lot of moments that I felt was like, oh, that was ultimately Batman. But in Obi-Wan, there's a specific moment where okay, this is light spoiler, so it doesn't give away any event, but it's just a thing that happens, and I'm gonna preface that, but it's there's a moment where Darth Vader is like walking through this like facility to go get to someone, and when you see like in the movies when it's like it's always the last minute and like the villain's about to get there, but then like the ship takes off and you're like, oh man, they escaped the villain. You think that's gonna happen, and then literally Darth Vader literally forces a like spaceship from taking off. Like, and it's like he like stops it in midair. And like I watched it with my nephews, and we all got up and were like, like we were like screaming. And stuff. We're like, can you believe it? Like, so I think like there's just so much of thing like when you actually care about what you're making. Like I didn't have any moments like that during Batman. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like Obi-Wan, there was so many moments of that. Like especially that last episode, man. Especially like doing all the callbacks to the Revenge of the Sith. You're like, dude, I'm about to poop my pants. This is great.
Absolutely. Now, Ben, last Q&A from you. Let's sum it up, man.
And okay, I'm just trying to find one.
Q&A and any thoughts you would like to share. Anything that was on your mind.
Okay, my question is, would you guys like to see a season 2 of Kenobi?
No.
I think Ben and I spoke about that. There is a way they could do it. I do have feelings for if they would. If they do, don't bring Vader in it, in my opinion. That was enough for Vader.
Vader's good in small doses.
Yes, and I think that, yeah, you summed it up well. I think the only thing that they could play with is Darth Maul, maybe. Yeah.
Be nice to see Ray Park again.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Ben? You got the floor.
I don't think it should be a season 2 unless it's going to be something that Obi-Wan sort of is investigating a crime syndicate that's sort of starting up on Tatooine. Maybe actually, do a better job than the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
But bring Darth Maul back into it. But don't have them like meet. Do what they do in Kenobi with Vader. Little bits of Vader here and there. That's what we want. We don't. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
Yes.
See, I don't think we need another Kenobi show. I think it would take away from it. I would love a Darth Maul prequel show though, of where we just follow Darth Maul becoming a Sith. I think that would be dope.
Yeah. Now, but we've hit over an hour, so just very quickly, I'll just read a few comments from everyone. I just want to say, David, your comments are absolutely so funny.
You're killing it, David.
It's like David's like hated the way Obi-Wan died, and I'm just picturing all the other people reading the comments like, what? But it doesn't make sense because he comes back in A New Hope. So, David,
quote Harrison Ford. That's not how the Force works.
Facebook user who saved my life from a banana peel. I'm excited for the new Okishia series, and we need.
So good.
I'm sorry. It's 12. It's what time is it? 12 a.m. my time.
Yeah, you're late. Yeah,
it is. I'm so sorry. And need an Old Republic series. I cannot agree.
That'd be cool.
I couldn't agree anymore. Christopher Kenny, no season 2. It would have to be Obi-Wan doing his laundry and sorry.
100% agree.
You know what? I would actually be excited to watch that.
No, just think of like the new market Disney could tap into. Obi-Wan builds his hut. Stay tuned for how he decorates with a Jedi.
I love it. Oh, you know what? They could even make a series with Ewoks. You don't know.
They did actually. So that's a real thing.
There you go. So I just want to wrap it up here, guys. Look, we want to thank you, everyone who was online to watch with us. Thank you for the comments and the questions and the fun that we all had here.
I
just want to say, Ben, thank you for being a awesome friend, but also a awesome guest tonight. I know that ages ago I did mention about this podcast, and I just knew that you just perfect for this. And it's good to have someone that just loves Star Wars and just superheroes, anything in general. You're just down to earth and just so awesome. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And Hayden, you look ugly as always, and you just
You mean that?
as well as me, from what Pastor Bob mentioned.
Yeah, I guess we both have to journal
yeah.
together now.
But hey, thank you all for watching the comic book guys, and we'll catch you next time. You all take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah.
Comic
Awesome.
guys!